Dear students, in today's video, we will discuss a very new topic called as Wess indices, which is designated by three integers L, M, N, and Miller indices, designated by the characters HKL. Okay, we will discuss one after the other. First, let us discuss Wess indices. Before going into the details of Wess indices and finding the values of LMN, that is to study the procedure that we have to follow to find out the Wess indices, let us go back to a concept that we had studied in earlier one video, that is about lattice planes. Okay, so if you take any crystal, okay, I am drawing the unit cell of a particular crystal. Say for example, it is a body centered unit cell. What do you mean by body centered unit cell? There are particles at 8 corners of the unit cell, and in addition to this, there is a lattice bond or an atom at the center of the unit cell. Now we can imagine a plane, okay, a lattice plane. Say for example, I'm showing it by green color. So this is one of the lattice plane which consists of 4 atoms at the corners. Similarly, I can imagine another lattice plane here which consists of 4 atoms. Not only this, I can imagine even other lattice planes. For example, I will draw a plane here which cuts the crystal into 2 equal parts, passes through the center of the unit cell, and it only contains one atom, the body center atom. So we can imagine several other lattice planes. Okay, theoretically we can imagine infinite number of lattice planes in a unit cell, provided there should be at least one atom in each lattice plane. Remember, this concept of lattice plane is purely hypothetical. Okay, it is only an imaginary concept built in our brain. Though it is an imaginary concept, it has a lot of application and use when we discuss a topic called as X-ray diffraction. So when we discuss diffraction of X-rays by crystals, the concept of lattice planes is very important, especially when we discuss the Bragg's law in the next class. The concept of lattice planes becomes very important. As there are many lattice planes in the unit cell, we should identify or we should formulate a procedure through which we can distinguish one lattice plane from the other lattice plane. For example, if I am speaking about this particular lattice plane, there should be some technique through which I should let you know that I am actually speaking about this particular lattice plane. So there should be a method to distinguish one lattice plane from the other lattice plane. And that method was earlier suggested by a scientist named Wess, and the method of finding the three integers L, M and N, the method is called as Wess indices. Okay, so let us first understand how to find out Wess indices of a particular lattice plane, and we will also discuss the limitations of this. So what is the procedure? For that, let me draw XY axis. This is X, this is Y. I will draw two straight lines. Okay, two straight lines with a different color. These two straight lines are definitely different from each other. How you will say that they are different from each other? If I extrapolate this straight line, which is shown by red color, this cuts the x-axis at a particular point. Let us call it as y1. So y1 is the intercept made by the straight line, which is red in color, along y-axis. Similarly, if I extend the line, which is blue in color, it cuts the y-axis at a point y2. So y2 is nothing but the intercept of the blue line along y-axis. Now we clearly see that the y-intercept of the first line is different from the y-intercept from the second line. Okay. Now if I extend the x-axis in negative direction, I can even extend the straight line so that it cuts the x-axis also. So this is x1, the intercept the line makes along x-axis. Similarly, if I extend the second line, it cuts x-axis at x2. Okay, clearly from the figure, though not a perfect figure, we can see that y1 is not equal to y2 and x1 is not equal to x2. So we can say with confidence that these two straight lines are distinct straight lines. They are different from each other because their y-intercept and x-intercepts are different. There may be a case where one of the intercept, either x-intercept or y-intercept, may be same, the other may be different. Okay, I will give an example. A line that is shown by blue color cuts y-axis at y1 and cuts x-axis at x1. Let me draw another straight line by blue color, black, which has the same intercept y1. Okay, here y1 is equal to y2, and it has a x-intercept x2, which is different from x1. So clearly from this figure, we can make out that these two straight lines are different straight lines. Okay. So what we observe is, even though one of the intercept is same, it is enough to say that these two straight lines are different straight lines based on the other intercept, because other intercept don't have same value, they have different value. So two straight lines are different from each other if one of the intercepts are different. Okay, so if I extend this concept into a plane, instead of a line into a plane, a imaginary plane makes three intercepts: one intercept along x-axis, one intercept along y-axis, and one intercept along z-axis. Now if there are two different planes, definitely based on our example of the straight line, we can say that these two planes will have at least one of the intercept different. Either x intercept should be different, or y intercept should be different, or z intercept should be different, or all the three may be different. So ಒಂದು ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಇಂದ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಒಂದು ಇಂಟರ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಸಾಕು. ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಇಂಟರ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರು ಓಕೆ, ವೈ ಇಂಟರ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರು ಓಕೆ, z intercept different ಆಗಿದ್ರು okay. Okay, so this therefore helps us to build a procedure through which we can distinguish one plane from another plane in a crystal lattice, and that was suggested by Wess in his procedure called as Wess indices. So what we have to make in Wess indices is we have to identify the intercepts made by the plane along x-axis, y-axis and z-axis, or you can also call it as A, B and C axis. Remember in one of our earlier videos, okay, I made it clear that in crystallography, instead of x, y and z, we sometimes use A, B and C axis, which are also called as crystallographic axis. Okay, so what we have to do is in this West indices method, we have to identify the intercepts made by the plane. Remember, a plane generally makes three intercepts, one along x, that is a axis, another along y, that is b axis, and another along z, that is c axis. Okay, how to identify the intercept? This is okay, point number 1. How to identify the intercept? Okay, this is a axis, this is b axis, this is c axis, and this is origin. Let me draw a unit cell, something like this. So this is the unit cell, and unit cell, you know, that is characterized by 6 parameters called as unit cell parameters, out of which 3 are lengths a, b, and c, and 3 are angles alpha, beta, gamma. 3 lengths a, b, and c are nothing but the length of the unit cell. Okay, so let me denote what is a. A is nothing but the length of the unit cell along x-axis. B is the length of the unit cell along y-axis, and C is the length of the unit cell along z-axis. So this length is A, this length is B, and this length along z-axis is C. Now let me draw the crystallographic plane for which we have to assign the West indices. Okay, for that what I will do is I will draw some references along x-axis, y-axis, and